All right, welcome back to Fleck and Socks, the podcast, episode 216. Today on the show, we just found out what the Kamala campaign pissed their money away on. The numbers will shock you. Then, Trump is starting to make his cabinet picks. Who is in and who is out, we're going to let you know. Then, in Cringe of the Week, delusional liberal women are now resorting to violence after Trump's victory. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, it's deportation time soon, and who cares what it costs? All this and more is Fleck and Socks, the podcast, episode 216, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleck and Socks, the podcast, featuring Richard Grab.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, you know about Farmer Bill by now. Longtime supporter of the show, major show watcher, and a base beef merchant making the best meat snacks in the entire world. And if you haven't placed an order yet, he is offering an exclusive 15% off for this month only. Farmer Bill doesn't just sell beef, he sells biltong. What's biltong, you ask? It's beef jerky, but 10 times better. It's juicier and has perfect marbled fat, unlike store-bought jerky, which is lean and dry and loaded with sugar, soy, and nitrates. Farmer Bill's uses traditional methods, so his meat snacks are cured and air-dried the old-fashioned way. No nitrates, no sugar, no seed oils, no soy. And he sources all of his beef from South Dakota, supporting American ranchers, which keeps American farmlands out of the hands of Bill Gates and BlackRock. I recommend the bestseller bundle, which includes original bison, spicy bison, original beef, spicy beef, plus a half-pound original slab and a jar of his grass-fed tallow balm. The bestseller bundles ship for free, and you can use code FLECKUS15 at checkout for an additional 15% off. This deal will not last long. Support those who support the show. Get your meat snacks today. FarmerBillsProvisions.com is the website. Code FLECKUS15 at checkout, or you can click the link in the description below. Thank you for supporting Farmer Bill. Let's get into housekeeping.
Farmer Bill's Provisions, the perfect protein snack.
All right, thank you to Farmer Bills for sponsoring.
Thank you, Farmer Bill.
Great time to get your Farmer Bills, especially with the holidays coming up. Maybe do a little charcuterie for Thanksgiving, maybe a little stocking stuffer for Christmas. It's not too early.
Yeah.
All right, we have a packed show.
Yes, we do.
Lots of good stuff. I'm very happy. Really great script. Packed housekeeping, good cringe, Urban Decay, uplifting gold. You know the segments.
And it feels good. Things are tasting better, smelling better. Music sounds a little nicer. We could be on a dark timeline right now, and we're not.
Yeah.
You know, we could be on a very dark timeline where like Nevada's just getting in the deciding votes or something.
We're shooting from a black site because some of our friends are getting arrested.
The YouTube is down. We're on Rumble. It's all there's a dark timeline, and I'm very thankful that we are not involved in that at all.
Yeah, I went for a walk and all the stupid signs are pulled down.
Oh, yeah. I wish I saw a few of those creatures come out from their caves.
Oh, what happened?
What happened to you? She lost?
You looks like you've been crying for a few days.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's open up the show with some irony.
Yeah.
There was a sad Kamala voter on Twitter, and there's an exchange that really sums up the entire election season, in my opinion.
Yeah, she said, due to her turmoil, she said, "My mother in New York keeps trying to help me. She tells me to go for a walk, go outside. Where am I supposed to go? Wherever I go, my brain goes with me, and I have no hope for the future. I don't want to feel like this for the next 4 years, or even the next 4 minutes."
And then someone replies and says, "Go walk to a playground where there are children enjoying the swings and slides and joyful laughing."
And the woman says, "Sadly, the closest playground to me has been taken over by homeless people addicted to fentanyl, and it's not safe for me to be anywhere near there."
Hello?
Knock, ding, ding, ding. Knock, knock.
Do you understand what happened?
Anyone home, Stu?
Like, oh, I can't go to the park because I live in a Democrat hellhole.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess fortunately for her, when Trump suspends international law and runs for his third term, the playground will be cleaned up.
Yeah, by Trump's third term, those blue cities will be straightened out, I think.
I think that's a good troll for leftists. It's just kind of like vaguely referring to Trump's third term. Like, yeah, you know, when Trump's third term, he'll fix it eventually. They'll go crazy.
It was towards the end of Project 2025.
Yeah, you didn't read the whole thing? You're crazy.
All right, let's get into my favorite part of the show, the cost of Kamala's campaign and what they pissed their money away on.
Yeah.
Can you read the basic gist?
Yeah, I still can't get over the fact that her campaign managers let her spend $10 million for Beyonce, $5 million for Megan Thee Stallion, $3 million for Lizzo, $1.8 million for Eminem, and actually thought it would win her the election. Anyway, here's your $20 million in debt. The joy is gone.
And then they also spent $450,000 per day on the advertising on the Sphere in Vegas.
Which, you know, Nevada was a battleground state, so like that one I'm not too pissed at. That's probably like, you know, the Sphere loves it. They're like, yeah, let's do an election every year. Some Muppet will pay for it. But Beyonce, 10 mil, couldn't get a song. And this is a pecking order of like, who's who? Lizzo?
It's good to know what the rates are, the going rates when you're a celebrity.
Mm-hmm. And then people, like, you know, juxtaposing the sides in general, like people were almost risking their career to come out for Trump, especially earlier, 2016, 2020. People were like risking being blacklisted in Hollywood or different places. And it just shows you how much like they really mean it versus Beyonce wants $10 million and you don't get a song. So,
and then they also did the Call Her Daddy interview for Kamala did the podcast, and they had to build a set for that. And this is the set in the background, and that cost $100,000.
Nothing. Write the check. Write the check. We have to talk about abortion, right?
Yeah, and then after all that, they came crawling back to their donors and their base via email saying, hey, I know we lost, but can you please send some more money because they're $20 million in debt.
Yeah, so it's just from the Harris campaign, a donation today. We need it to the Democratic Party. And it's like, I don't think there's ever been a lower click rate on a Democratic email. Like the day after you got blown out is crazy.
And then there was someone who did a tweet replying to that thread of the Democrat email asking for money at this point.
It says the DNC still asking for money like I'm responsible for the tombstone too. Paying for their funeral, buddy.
Yeah, but according to some, it was a flawless campaign, and that some is Joy Reid.
And nothing that was true yesterday about how flawlessly this campaign was run is not true now. I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed.
It was a flawless campaign. You lost the Electoral College, the popular vote, the House, and the Senate, but with DEI standards,
Queen Latifah said yes.
It was a fantastic campaign.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, keep it up. This is like, I like to see this. Nobody's learning any lessons. They're in denial still. I guess it's the 5 stages of grief, right? Mm-hmm. We're still firmly in denial. It was a flawless campaign. And we have more clips from Joy Reid later, but it seems like no one's learning lessons. And that's good for us, right? Long term. That helps us get our agenda through, and it makes them, you know, swim in circles, basically.
It's very good for us. And exactly, no one learned any lessons. They obviously made the whole campaign about social issues, that everyone's under attack.
Yeah.
But like, oh, LGBT people are under attack. The gays are gayer than ever.
Yeah.
Abortions on the ticket. There's more abortions now than ever. And they never really realized that there's no working class people in their movement. Mm-hmm. It's all like people that went to college or in student loan debt who are educated. And then in that education, they learned that like working class people are below them because they're not educated.
Yeah. And then they'll have some gay guy wear a Carhartt outfit or something. And that's their outreach to that same blue collar class, right?
You guys like working vests, right? You guys like beanies.
Swing this hammer.
And then someone tweeted, Kamala ran a perfect campaign for intelligent people.
And that's the cope, you know? I love that. Don't look anything into it. Hey, if only America was more smart, if America was more intelligent, you guys would have won for sure. And then, you know, we'll just landslide them again in 2028 or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. They ran a campaign for intelligent people, and you guys are the retarded half.
Yeah.
You guys are killing the babies. You let 20 million illegals in, and criminals do crimes, then you let them out.
Yeah, and just in general, the postmortem of this campaign, it's like they way overestimated America's appetite or mania for abortion. They thought it would drive women like in record numbers, and women did go out to vote, but young white women had like an 11-point shift towards Donald Trump. So like your whole thing, your entire campaign, if it's built on a miscalculation, then it doesn't matter how perfectly you executed that miscalculation. You guys are fucked, right?
The whole thing was fucked from the start. Yeah. But hey, intelligent people on that side, you guys know a good deal when you see one. Kamala Waltz merch is 75% off right now.
Yeah, get to the airport store. Get to the Washington, D.C., the dullest airport store, and buy.
Yeah, and then also when it comes to running the campaign for intelligent people, I guess intelligent people only live places where there's no photo ID required to vote.
Yeah, they're too smart. They can't waste time at the DMV. They're too smart for that.
Oh, man.
So here's the states, Harris 1 versus ID requirement. And, the overlap, the correlation is like 0.95 or something.
Yeah. And then I want to make an overarching theme point for this campaign and this election. Politics obviously isn't the most honest industry.
Of course.
Lying and whatever. And there's people that like withhold facts, they obfuscate facts, they, do some lying here and there, but nothing crazy. But this campaign was different, where they were just doing commercials of blatant lies to our face.
Made up scenarios too, yeah.
Made up scenarios, Donald Trump's gonna ban abortion. And then they would say things like, Kamala Harris is going to lower your taxes. Kamala Harris is going to fix the border. And it's like, I'm standing right here.
To my face?
You're just going to say it to my face? Yeah. Kamala Harris is going to fix the border on TV? What are you talking about?
Yeah, and fortunately, like everybody, most Americans, even though not the smartest ones, not the Kamala voters, they know when someone is bullshitting and 8 years of behavior can't be erased with a one-sentence promise, right?
Kamala Harris is going to fix the border. It's like, This is on TV?
Are you kidding me?
You shouldn't be allowed to say that.
Yeah. Costs extra to run that ad.
All right, we're in our next page of housekeeping, which is the Trump's cabinet picks section. It's still early. Some of these are rumors. Some of these are newly confirmed.
Yeah.
Can you read our first one?
Yeah, Kash Patel, who's one of your favorites, is rumored pick for CIA chief, announces massive declassification will occur under Trump's administration, from Epstein files to Diddy List and more.
Love to see that. Love Kash Patel.
Yeah, and America needs one of those. We need, remember when Elon bought Twitter and he released basically all the emails and everything, all the Twitter files interfacing with the government, all the weird shit that the government has done and censorship? The U.S. government and our intelligence sector kind of needs one of those. The sunlight, disinfecting the whole apparatus, because there's a lot of snaky shit going on, especially during COVID as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bad stuff.
And it's strange because according to the Democrats, the Republicans are the bad guys, but then the Republicans' first order of business is like transparency.
Yeah.
So isn't that like, we want our CIA to be ran by Kamala's person who's going to keep doing whatever they've been doing. Wouldn't you want to send someone in who's going to expose it all? How is that the bad guys?
And then another thing that happens with these unelected bureaucrats is they overclassify things. Like if they think something you don't want that is damaging to the current administration or Biden or Kamala or anybody, they'll just go, yeah, classify that, even though it doesn't really meet a threshold to be classified. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like a way that they play the game and just sneak shit from the public, right?
Exactly.
So it's like, why would that be classified? That's just a conversation between two doctors. And it's like, when you look at what Fauci said or somebody else, like the day after that was known for everybody, it makes it look horrible. But it has no right to be classified, but it is. So
yeah, and then they're classifying things to protect the people who did the bad stuff, but Trump's the problem. Mm-hmm. Stephen Miller will be the deputy chief of staff, which I love. I love Stephen Miller. We have a clip here of him at Madison Square Garden from a couple weeks ago.
I want you to think for a minute about the decades of abuse that has been heaped upon the good people of this nation. Their jobs looted and stolen from them and shipped to Mexico, Asia, and foreign countries. The lives of their loved ones ripped away from them by illegal aliens, criminal gangs, and thugs who don't belong in this country. I'm not just saying that. You've read the stories. It happens every day.
Let him cook. I like that guy.
I know.
He brings it. He's a good debater, too. He does well on TV.
He's loyal as hell. He's a very hardliner on immigration, which is good. We need to buckle up. And we're going to do an immigration section, I think, in Urban Decay, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get to it more, but he's a hardliner on that. And then also, he's just rocking male pattern baldness. Look at that. He keeps the hair on the side. That's
Sick.
good shit.
That's really good shit.
That almost went away in the 90s.
He doesn't get hymns.
Yeah,
He go, I need to put my thing on. And he just does whatever the fuck happens.
He owns it. Yeah. I respect that.
Me too. And that's what I'm gonna do. That's the start of it right here. Whatever
so?
this turns into is what I got, and that's
right.
what you'll see.
All right.
Homan, he'll be the border czar.
And I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that's been released into the United States under this administration. Don't get too comfortable. We're going to need some help. Do I have any volunteers that want to come back and help run the biggest deportation operation in the history of this nation? In January of 25, the greatest president of my lifetime is walking back in the White House. He tells me, we got, I say 120 days. He says, no, you got 60 to lock the border. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I told the president. He comes back. I come back. We fix this shit.
Yeah. I like this guy too. And then here's a picture of him as a young Border Patrol agent.
Look at that car, man. Back when Border Patrol was simple, you just chased him down, you caught him, and you actually sent him back.
You hog-tied him and threw him back over.
Yeah.
So that's great.
He also just made headlines. I think he was on Fox and Friends saying that they're going to conduct workplace raids as well for people who are hiring illegals. And that's great. He's, again, Stephen Miller, hardliner, Homan, absolute hardliner. It doesn't seem from any of these appointments that we're tempering at all. It looks like promises are going to be fulfilled.
Yep, and we're going to get more into the deportation stuff and the migrant stuff in Urban Decay. We have a whole section about the cost. Lee Zeldin, EPA, is that correct?
Yeah.
That's great. Another New York guy.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. People really like Lee Zeldin. And then we have some other good news. Jared Kushner rules out joining next Trump administration. Kushner's out.
There you go.
We don't need Kushner. And then people were talking about how Mike Pompeo might be involved. And then Trump cleared that up with a Truth Social post.
He said, I will not be inviting former Ambassador Nikki Haley or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to join the Trump administration, which is currently in formation. And then he thanks them and says, make America great again.
But he makes it nice. Says, I'd like to thank them for their service to the country. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Nikki Haley. Thank you, Mike Pompeo. Sorry there's not room for you guys.
Yeah. Oh, we just ran out. We ran out of space.
I wish Nikki Haley.
I wish I saw your name on a piece of paper before I made that decision.
We would have put you in.
Nikki Haley was on Fox, like, kind of shit-talking Trump's campaign a week before the election, saying, like, this broing out, and you're appealing to the bros too much, and that's going to turn off women. Shut up.
Stupid.
Get back in your fucking hole. Indian. South Carolina. You can't even say that.
I didn't mean it like that. All right. And then there is a Senate vote for Senate Majority Leader.
Yeah. Mitch McConnell is stepping down. Thank God. He was a real rat. The only thing he was good at during Trump's administration was confirming judges.
But him stepping it down now before Trump takes office is kind of like a final fuck you, in my opinion, if they put in like a rhino. Can you read?
I think he's old and decrepit though, too.
But you can't wait. You can't wait 2 months or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. In terms of
and just wait for all the base people to get in, and then go. Okay.
Oh yeah. Timing wise,
Steve Bannon, Speaker of the House now, or Senate Majority Leader. Can you read the Tucker tweet that sums it up?
Yeah.
This is tomorrow. This is Wednesday.
Yeah. What the hell is going on in the U.S. Senate? Hours after Donald Trump wins the most conclusive mandate in 40 years, Mitch McConnell engineers a coup against his agenda by calling early leadership elections in the Senate. 2 of the 3 candidates hate Trump and what he ran on. One of them, John Cornyn, is an angry liberal whose politics are indistinguishable from Liz Cheney's. The election is Wednesday. It's by secret ballot, and it will determine whether or not the new administration succeeds. Rick Scott of Florida is the only candidate who agrees with Donald Trump. Call your senator and demand a public endorsement of Rick Scott. Don't let McConnell get away with it again.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's accurate. And some people, there was a ballot measure, or they're doing the secret ballot thing, and those got leaked online. And now all the senators are facing immense social media pressure that's going on. Like the MAGA online people are actually trying to bully them. Benny Johnson, they leaked it to Benny Johnson.
Let's
so Benny
go.
Johnson's got somebody. We're in the process of trying to get Rick Scott. Thune and Cornyn have like horrible tweets like, oh, Donald Trump should withdraw and Mike Pence should be our nominee, effective immediately. Like, these people don't know how to fight. They don't know how to stand tall. They don't know how to win. There's weird BLM kowtowing to BLM and shit like that.
You can't read the room and understand what just happened with this Trump election. Then you're going to put Thune in who says Mike Pence. Mike Pence? We hate Mike Pence.
I know. So it's sneaky shit, and we hopefully will win with Rick Scott, who won in a landslide as well.
Yeah, and it's good.
But it's like immediately. You guys see it. Immediately there's detractors, and I'm glad, hey, we're on an alternate timeline where I'm very happy this is what we're fighting for. But like, there's an immediate like dragging the feet or like trying to, it's kind of strong arm the Trump agenda. And every single person who just got elected, Republican or otherwise, your tide got lifted by Trump. It's not like you carried, you know? People go, Trump, here I am hammering Trump. And then who's this guy? All right, let him in.
It's time for people to start paying homage.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell should go to jail. I'm going to text Trump.
Text Trump.
I'll say, hey, Mitch McConnell got to go to jail, man.
Yeah.
But good news, President-elect Trump says he has spoken to 70 world leaders since Wednesday, since last week.
He's grinding.
He's grinding. He's on the job.
And we don't know how substantive those conversations have been, probably mostly congratulatory, but he's back, baby.
Yeah, like to see it. But obviously the Democrats are going to try to do something in the last few weeks to, push things their way. This guy had a theory about what Kamala Harris's role could be before Trump takes over.
Liberal. And so I hope that Joe Biden makes the next 10 weeks as consequential as he can. I don't care about drawing outside the lines or what Republicans may think about it. This is within your purview. You can actually do it, and you should do it. And, one more thing, John, is you have a hell of a vice president right there who has a legal pedigree to sit on the Supreme Court and let Republicans go crazy and ape. I'm even mentioning that option.
That's floating? Are you floating? This is 7:39 a.m. on the East Coast. Did Bakari Sellers just float Vice President Kamala Harris as a potential Supreme Court nominee?
Not only am I floating it, but I want to stir up everything. I want people's heads to explode this morning so we go into the weekend just knowing that the chaos has not ended just yet.
That's interesting. And he said that we're going to ape.
Yeah.
Glass houses, brother.
Yeah. and there's no vacancy.
Sotomayor, I guess, they want her to step down.
But can they even do it in time? I don't think they can do a confirmation. I don't think they can confirm a judge in time.
I hope not. Yeah. And Sotomayor, you're healthy. Keep it going. You got another 18 months in you.
Come on.
And then also, it's not even going to matter because part of the transparency that Trump's new cabinet will bring will hopefully bring some truth to the 2020 election and what really happened with all those extra votes. And then Biden's presidency will be illegitimate. And then Ketanji Brown Jackson and Kamala Harris, if she's the Supreme Court pick somehow, they get swapped. We put two new ones in. And then Sotomayor steps down, and we have all conservative Supreme Court justices.
All right, you're getting ahead of yourself. But, hey, and speaking of which, there's more rumors online. The leftists are thinking this election was stolen somehow. And our election, if you remember, Joe Biden shattering a record, 81 million votes. Our main thesis is like, guys, he went ahead at 3 o'clock in the morning only in every swing state. Something ain't right here. And with all these mail-in ballots, I guarantee some of them were messed up. That's our conspiracy theory. Theirs has something to do with like Elon Musk using Starlink to count the votes or something now. Yeah. They're spiraling.
Yeah.
So
you guys make no sense when you talk about voter fraud. We got it right when we talk about it. Oh, there was a middle of the night batch that went through and 100 out of 100 were for Joe Biden. 1,000 times.
That doesn't make sense.
Oh.
The line goes up.
Oh. And then Joy Reid, she had some points following the election. She's telling people to look out for black people should look out for just themselves.
Hey, I just want to give some free advice to the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the P-word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends because I don't think.
Good. Black women can focus on their nails and playing on their phone and shit.
focus on a lot of things that I'll hold my tongue on right now. But it's like we're not trying to save the Democratic Party. The black women aren't, according to Joy Reid, the spokesperson. And it's like you voted for them 92%. Where else are you going to go? You switching to Republican? Is that the implication here? I have no idea.
And she's making it seem like not enough attention or focus was put on like black problems.
Yeah. Why would we?
But that's all they focused on. The Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they focused on was anything but white.
Yeah.
And when groups focus for their own self-interest, Hispanics for Hispanics, blacks for blacks, Jews for Jews, yeah, go do it. And then no one ever came around and said, hey, white people, here's something you guys are dealing with, or here's something that's affecting you disproportionately. Nothing. It was always, hey, white people, you have to help out the minorities.
Yeah, white men, you got to vote for the daughter who might need an abortion later. That's your only pope right now. Like, yeah, I totally agree. And it's fascinating because I don't know who they've helped. I don't know who black women really like helped or ushered in change for recently, in recent memories, right?
And they make it seem like, oh, it's time for us to start looking out for ourselves. You already do that.
That's all you've been doing, right?
And every time you're in power...
And I get that. You should.
Yeah.
Too. Like, that's normal.
But every time you're in power, like, the institutions go in that same direction, where it's like if there's a black person in power in an institution... Now that institution is very focused on the black struggle or DEI or including more black representation. Yeah. And we actually have that an example with FEMA.
Yeah.
Can you read the headline?
Yeah, here's what a black woman in power, when they get a little, does. It says, breaking from the Real Daily Wire, FEMA directed relief workers to skip houses that displayed Trump signs after Hurricane Milton devastated parts of Florida. At least 20 homes were reportedly skipped and did not receive any opportunity for FEMA assistance. And we have the screenshot of the text right here. It says, implement best practices, avoid homes advertising Trump. Highlighted right there.
And then here's the woman who was in charge.
There she is. She was looking out for herself and her people, right?
Exactly. So the majority of the country just rejected that.
Yeah.
Looking out for yourself, and which is basically just anti-whiteness. And look what happened.
Yeah, it's nothing new. It's just like saying a piece of the quiet part out loud. Joy Reid, it's great. They actually kind of forget that they're playing a game when they're in the peak of the emotion and they're mad, and then they kind of give away the secrets that they have. And it's like, oh, okay, well, you see no common cause with white women, but you expect white women to vote with you or something? Am I seeing that right?
That's strange.
Yeah. Thank you, Joy, for telling us.
Well, that's the end of that page of housekeeping. We're now moving on to the final page of housekeeping where I can say whatever I want. Before we get there, make sure you guys tickle the post, help us juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment again, then start yapping. P.O. Box needs to be full, notifications need to be on, old episodes need to be watched, and voting already happened.
Yep.
I nailed that one.
You're free.
That's one of my better ones. All right, our first clip of my page of housekeeping is Lizzo was sending an inspirational message to people. And here it is.
She's writing a note.
Look how she holds the pen. That's the whole point of this.
She's gripping it like a fat girl.
Holding it like this.
Like Lenny from Mice and Men.
This is how you write? You never learned anything?
We're going to pet the rabbit, George. It's interesting because she has good handwriting, to be honest, like girly handwriting. So she did it by any means necessary, but she's gripping it like an R word.
Yeah, like a major R word. All right. And then Mimetic Sisyphus says, yeah, that's how I thought she'd write.
It was not that hard to guess.
Next is a tweet from WikiLeaks, and it's just Mount Vesuvius erupting.
So what are they hinting at? Anybody experts at foreshadowing or symbology?
It looks explosive. It looks destructive. It looks exciting.
Yeah.
And, that's my takeaway.
We'll see.
All right, next is something a little motivational for you guys who feel like you're trapped in a net. And then he gets out, relentless, keeps flopping. And now he's free. Take notes, Tim Waltz. Keep flopping, and you'll be free. That's actually Scott Pressler in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, maybe.
Never quitting, getting the job done at the end.
Slimy skin.
Slimy skin.
No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't disrespect him like that.
Yeah, we can't.
He's free to do as much kind of gay shit as he wants. Brother.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the one guy.
Yeah, he is, and he doesn't even talk about being a homosexual.
Yeah, good for him.
That's there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it.
Yep.
All right.
How do fish know where water is? They have that instinct. They taste it. They have like some sort of sense of where it is. He could have flopped the wrong way, you know?
I think they know like the water feeling is coming this way and then like dry is coming this way.
All right, that's fair.
It's like a dog, how it goes home.
Okay.
It's the same thing, but instead of smelling, it's just vibes on your skin.
Fair.
All right, next we have video of aliens.
Looks like a pride flag.
I ain't never seen anything in the sky like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, nothing conclusive there for me. The Chinese or foreign language, whichever it was, over the semi-grainy video of an alien, that adds to it.
Mm-hmm.
That adds to it.
It really is just some person.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Okay, next we are going to do the growth of Starlink in the last 4 years, and this is Elon and like the satellites he's putting up.
Yeah.
And it starts in 2019. Let it rip. So here you go. Starts off pretty normal. It's 2020. It's pretty okay. There's a lot, and then it keeps going, sending stuff up. There's a lot. Now it's a lot. Now they get rid of the Earth to show you just how many there are.
Jeez.
And it looks like too much.
Yeah. All that stuff.
It's like, oh, look what, you got all that stuff going around like that?
One of them's going to hit somebody.
Yeah.
One of them's going to come to Earth, hit somebody.
It just seems like too many things right on the outside like that. And I like Elon, and there's always obviously the theory that he's like an antichrist type who's going to usher in something bad, and he's controlled opposition because he does Neuralink and the electric cars that are kind of a scam and microwave you. But I'm not fully there. I think he can do the right thing, and I think he's going to come around to God. But when you see that, why do we got to surround the Earth with all these dots?
I thought you were like some flat earther or something too. So you probably don't even believe this. You don't even know what the fuck you're saying. That's
a good point. This is probably it's assuming the world is a globe.
Yeah, so you're too stupid.
So it's actually, that's anti-flat earth theory.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a lot. Good internet though. I'm going to get Starlink soon at some point.
He's up to a lot.
I feel like if the other administration, if Kamala had won, they'd start like ripping his permits and stuff. They'd really kind of crush him. So Tesla stock too went way up immediately after the election, like a 50% gain or something. So good for Elon. He got the dub. I'm not in on any of that antichrist shit. Let him cook.
Yep, there you go. And that's the spectrum that appears on the show. Of course. All right, next is a tip for men, especially if you're in maybe a new relationship or you're trying to like maintain certain gender dynamics within your relationship. This guy has some advice.
I know what you say. I say, if you have a woman washing for you, right, you got to leave skid mark in your drawers. You have to. Because that's the only way she's going to respect you and call you a man. Why? Other than that, she's going to be the dirty boy do this, the boy do that, the boy. Yeah. When you leave skid mark in your drawers and she washing it and she see it, she can say, big man like you can't clean your ass.
That's good to know. That's reassuring.
Yeah, for you? Is there some personal shit?
It's gonna come in handy for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't put this in here.
All right, you gotta be shitting your pants, guys.
All right, skid marking it up.
Because then you're a man. Because then, like, how can a man shit his pants? A little boy shits his pants. You're not a boy. You're a man.
All right. You know what I like? I like that I don't even care about your page of housekeeping. We can do more. You know, we won. We won the election. I'm not like, oh, we got to do this story about this. It's like, let him do the aliens. Let him do the Earth thing that he doesn't even know about. Let him do the shitting in your pants advice from the Nigerian truck driver. And I actually added my own. I have one for you, okay?
You added this?
Yeah, I have a video for you, and Fleckus hasn't seen this. I'm just going to play it and then see what your reaction is, all right?
Okay.
What do you think?
It's a cryptid.
It's pretty compelling, right?
Yeah, like because you could tell the shadows.
Oh, you believe it?
I don't know. There's a shadow on the wall.
Okay. Yeah, they got close. They got it pretty good.
And those types of cryptids do exist. It's similar to a mermaid.
Okay. All right. I just thought I'd show you that. I don't know if you'd see that.
Nice work, Richard. You see how I don't shoot down your ideas and say, hey, that's not a lizard guy.
Hey, that's not a lizard guy. That's an AI stupid video. That doesn't have anything to do with politics or the tone of the show, but thank you.
All right. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, well, that's the end of housekeeping. Moving on now to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first story from Cringe of the Week is Mark Cuban's deleting his tweets.
Pathetic,
Pussy.
Mark. Stand tall, buddy. You lost. You did the wrong thing.
You're a smart guy. Your opinions can live forever.
Yeah, dude. All that stuff you wrote in desperate plea to get Kamala elected, that's all true after the fact, right, Mark?
Yeah.
You pussy.
And then he wrote at the bottom, I've always gone back and deleted tweets for years, since 2020 election, 2016 election. Same with other stuff. You can use the Wayback Machine if you really want to see it.
Yeah, I just don't really want other people to see it when they come to my page, so I deleted it. And I've always been doing this, and I've always had horrible takes that age poorly.
Yeah, well, we don't forget.
Feels good. We're dunking on him, but he was wrong. He was dead wrong. And yeah, go back and delete some tweets, but you're that kind of guy. You're the hide when I was wrong kind of guy.
Hide when you were wrong, dead wrong. You're a billionaire.
Yeah.
So smart. You're a businessman. You got your lesbian glasses. You got a busy face on.
I'm smart.
And you got it wrong. And we got it right.
Apologize, Mark.
Apologize to us directly.
Mm-hmm.
Send a letter in the mail to the P.O. Box. You're not getting our home address. All right. Next, George Clooney taking a step back from politics after being made a scapegoat for Kamala Harris's loss. Who made him a scapegoat?
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably just catching a little heat. But Clooney was not instrumental, but he was involved in the Joe Biden's too old to do this. And then there's some other reporting that kind of got verified recently. So Clooney was definitely in, and he's stepping back from politics. It's like, yeah, you have to wait 4 years. You'll be back, you scumbag, right? But there was some other reporting that basically confirmed that Nancy Pelosi and the Obama-Pelosi crew were looking to an open primary. They weren't set on Kamala. And that was the Biden, like we were right about this when we initially reported it as well, is that Biden, his little FU to getting forced out was, I'm just endorsing Kamala. Mm-hmm. And so we had some more verification of that from like Nancy Pelosi's camp.
But him saying he's a scapegoat, it's like, I don't think you were that big of a deal.
Yeah, Obama goes, Clooney. It was Clooney.
It was Clooney.
Yeah.
Buddy, you didn't really move the needle. You're Captain Phillips in that movie.
Yeah.
You landed
You're the prisoner.
You landed the plane or whatever.
Yeah.
But come on.
Yeah, you're Sully and Captain Phillips put in the one movie.
Tom Hanks. You're Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Tom Hanks, by the way, moved. He fled the country, he says.
Is he a pussy too?
Oh, huge. Huge.
He's fucking F-slurs,
Crybaby. And it's hard for me to justify because Tom Hanks made so many good World War II movies. He made Band of Brothers. And then now he's like crying about this. Doesn't make sense.
It's sad.
Saving Private Ryan.
It's the part of the demasculinization. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right, next, people are now doing Handmaid's Tales outfits and bracelets to identify each other as safe people in society.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is there's a blue bracelet that we need to wear because I want to make sure that nobody ever thinks that I am one of the apparently majority of white women who voted for Donald Trump. I do not want you ever to think that I was one of them. So
they're doing blue bracelets for something. It's their identifier. Like they constantly whined about us making them wear the Handmaid's Tale costumes that they put on themselves, and now they're voluntarily identifying themselves and like showing solidarity with each other. And wouldn't that be a bad thing if you lived in some sort of like fascist or controlling state? Like, oh, there she is. Oh, another blue bracelet. Yeah. Round her up or do something to take away her rights. And they don't see it like that. They believe that, but then they'll self-identify, and it's their little way of resistance, right?
And then some people are doing the full-blown Handmaid's Tale outfits as well, and some sizes are more popular than others.
Yeah, XXL and 3X are the most popular size, according to Amazon. Choose the size that will fit you best. So,
a little insight to who's making these purchases.
Bad. Very bad.
Very, very bad. And then this lady wants the opposite to happen. She wants all Trump supporters to wear MAGA hats.
I say we pass a law that requires anyone who voted for that orange piece of shit to wear their Trump hat 24/7. Because conservatives are dangerous.
Oh.
She wants to pass a law that makes people wear MAGA hats who voted for him, right?
Wouldn't that take our rights away?
Yeah, but that's also a small, tiny problem here. You're complaining about the election. You want to pass a law. You just got landslide blown out. So you're going to have to wait until Trump's third term in 2028 to see if he's amenable. You know? It's like, oh, let's pass a law after getting blown out in an election. It's hilarious. Like,
you don't have that right.
Which leads me to the broader point. We're still in like the freak out women section, right? Women are still going crazy, and it's mostly performative. She doesn't want an actual law. She just wants to be mad on TikTok or mad on Twitter or post a mad video or wear a blue bracelet so she separates herself from anything she doesn't believe in, right? And I think we should treat these women kind of like children. It's like, okay, yeah, let it out, Mikey. I hate it. Like feet stomping, doesn't want to eat broccoli type thing. And let them get it out of their system, and we'll move on, you know? I know you're angry and you want to show people you are, but this is little kid energy. We should pass a law. You don't have power, so it's over, right?
And it's funny too, because a lot of these women that we've shown so far, their lives are going to get better in the next 4 years, but they're not going to be objective enough to realize that. They're going to still be living in like the old paradigm of like fear and paranoia and everyone's out to get me. And they're not even going to be able to appreciate their quality of life going up.
The American Renaissance, they won't be participating. They'll be constantly fed negative news articles or things like that to keep them in their little sunken place.
Yeah,
right?
we just had the plague.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this guy wore a MAGA hat we're going to play it fast, like a 2x speed. But this guy wore a MAGA hat in New York City and kind of showed everyone reacting to it. As you can see here, he's getting looks left and right. Getting looks.
There's a 2XL handmade tale.
Getting looks. Everyone's, But it's good to, I feel like now more than ever you can. Like a week before the election, I wouldn't really be wearing a MAGA hat in a blue area. Now I kind of want to.
How dare you? How dare you admit that?
I'm not a big MAGA hat guy. I kind of just lay low and then...
Yeah, we just have an entire podcast that we broadcast to the world for anybody who wants to see it. We don't need to wear the MAGA hat.
I don't need to wear a MAGA hat. We do it twice a week.
That's true. All right. You're forgiven.
And then last piece... No, we have two clips left.
We have a
couple clips left. This woman has a plan now that Trump's elected for what she wants to do to white people.
I would go as far to say that I would purchase a Glock, and if you and I are walking on the same street and it's dark out and you're a white male, you have to be white for this to count, okay? If you're a white male, even if you don't approach me, I will shoot you. Yeah, I know.
There it is, guys. This is not someone who's going to go buy a gun and shoot somebody. This is a little kid who wants to role play or LARP or pretend that she's going to do something about it. Mm-hmm. She's got all the energy and she wants to pretend and let it out, we saw the women's retreats, go into the woods and yell and throw a pillow or do something. It's the same energy. She's not doing anything. This woman's probably afraid of loud noises.
She takes like SSRIs and puts earphones in when she sleeps.
Yeah. And gun store owners out there, make sure if you see any women trying to buy a gun, make sure you do the full 3-day wait period.
Yeah.
What were you going to say about this? Something about it's like
fan fiction.
It's pretending.
Yeah, it's fan fiction. But then also at the same time, we were always told that MAGA is dangerous. MAGA is going to take our rights away. MAGA is going to round us up and whatever. And it's like no one. If we lose, we're not ever going on social media and saying, "Oh, we're going to go get the Democrats."
And that's why she could get in trouble for this. Technically, this is probably just a vague, open threat, and law enforcement maybe should visit her. But if you're like us, this is empty. She's not doing anything. It's an emotional outburst on social media, and there's no real end game to it, right?
Yeah, that woman's scared of guns.
Yeah, exactly. That's this scared of guns person is making something up, like Harry Potter or something. This is like when Snape and Harry Potter fought, and now I need to do something. Yeah. And that's a Glock, It's nothing. She's never going to do it.
Exactly. And then last clip. There is this new trend on social media where the women are talking about poisoning their husbands who voted for Trump, and they're alluding to some character from hundreds of years ago who apparently did this in Italy and poisoned abusive husbands.
Acqua Tavana. Am I right? Aqua Tavana. If you know, you know.
So they're basically referencing, we're going to keep letting the video play, but it's all copyright music where women are doing dances and memeing and showing their poison ring and stuff like that. But it was a powerful poison in the 17th century Sicily, sold by women to other women seeking to escape abusive relationships by discreetly poisoning their husband. So now all these women they're going to get a ring and they're going to do poison and they're going to kill their husband because nothing happened 2 weeks ago.
Because their life's going to get better and they're just too emotionally wound up to realize.
Yeah.
And then also, if you're going to get poisoned by your wife, good. You should be poisoned because you married a retarded person.
Yeah, you married a stew still.
And then, when you marry,
you should have seen it coming, kind of. Maybe how she was reacting on election night or stuff like that.
If that's how your wife is, then you should be poisoned. They're actually going to poison your whole life as it is with like poisoned food. They're going to poison you spiritually. They're going to probably poison you by making you get the vaccine. And now they're literally going to poison you.
Yeah.
So either way, when you marry the wrong person, they poison you.
What do you think about this first woman? What do you think about this face?
That's a really bad face.
That's a really, really bad phenotype, and I walk the other way. She could shoot you on the street. She could pull up and point blank Jason Bateman you. Or
Jason Bourne.
No. Who's Bateman from the other one? American Psycho, not Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman's the guy from Ozark.
Yeah.
I'm too deep in. I'm scattered.
Yeah.
But she's a horrible, horrible phenotype with those 1950s glasses.
Mm-hmm. And that stupid smug face, like she knows everything and she's smarter than you, but then you got tricked into voting for the wrong person.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the election. Everyone's like, oh, like anyone who says women shouldn't vote because they're emotional and they can be emotionally manipulated. And then they say, oh, that's sexist. But then the women got emotionally manipulated and focused on abortion.
And now they're so emotionally wound up that they're talking about poisoning people or shooting random white men on the street. So you're not exactly making the best case right now.
There might be something there.
Yeah, there's something to it.
All right, well, we're moving on to Urban Decay.
Yeah.
Our first story from Urban Decay is out of Seattle. We have we'll let the news story play.
There's dad. There's the daughter underneath dad.
Victor Barnes says this troubling video captured by witnesses and under investigation by Lacey police shows Ihsan Ali choking his teen daughter from behind, her face shoved in the dirt.
That's my son fighting for the girl's life.
Court documents state she reported abuse by both Ihsan and her mother, Zara, saying she ran away to get help from her teachers and staff at Timberline, telling investigators her parents had also planned to forcefully send her to Iraq to marry an older man.
Earlier that day, she was supposed to be flown out the country. She ran to the school because she was afraid.
Barnes said her parents were looking for her, and upon seeing her, the dad rushed out of a vehicle and yelled at her in Arabic. A different student who understood their language told him to leave.
And the kid says something of the nature of, she doesn't want to go back with you. Leave her alone.
Okay, so they say Trump is going to take away women's rights, and then they bring people from other countries that don't believe in women's rights at all.
And want to forcible child marry their kid to someone in Iraq.
Yeah. So that's what that was. The teen daughter refused an arranged marriage with an old man in Iraq. And as a result, her parents went and beat her up in public.
Basically beat her up and asserted dominance over her.
Which is interesting because,
I'm torn here because they do all need to go back. Because they need to go back, but then the girl is going to be forcibly married somewhere.
But that's not really our problem.
Yeah.
And then Democrats have this idea that like all people are equal, but just some are more lucky than others to be born in America. But if you bring someone from Iraq here, like they can have the American experience too.
Everyone's a blank slate and their parents have nothing to do with it and their genetics have nothing to do with it. And anybody can be anything. Even the guy from the deepest jungle in Senegal could be a barista in Brooklyn,
He's just like us. Yeah. So it's like, I guess a lot of you guys maybe would beat up your daughters if they didn't do the arranged marriage to the old Iraqi man like you planned.
Yeah, that could... Guys, we can't judge because that could be any one of you, right?
It could be any of us. And we also have this article, Iraq to lower the age of consent for girls to 9.
So
that's who we need to bring here. That's who needs to live in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's in Seattle. And then we have another clip here of some migrants. This might be Canada, but I believe it's North America for sure.
Yeah.
Some migrants who are cooking at home, it looks like. They got a fire going in the living room.
Open flames, not a carbon monoxide detector in sight. It's actually funny because now we get these videos of migrants and, you know, people misbehaving or doing their ethnic customs that aren't normal in America. And I just have like a little light at the back of my head, like they could be going back soon. They're probably going back. So it feels a lot different to show this in Urban Decay this week.
Exactly. And obviously we do have a lot of people to deport. Millions of people need to be deported. But some dummies who got it all wrong up until this point are now saying that deporting is not realistic.
Now, some of the things he promised, like the mass deportation of 15 million people, I think a lot of people, even on this podcast, probably don't agree with. I don't think anybody here wants to see 15 million people who came here to have a better life and who are working hard and who are productive members of our society literally get dragged out of here. The 500,000 that are criminals or a million, sure. Nobody wants to see them get a free pass here, but...
What the fuck is this F slur talking about?
This guy, I think, voted for and campaigned for on Twitter, Kamala Harris. And now he's trying to moderate the total election victory that got Trump the election, right? Well, you weren't serious about that, right, brother?
Oh, he's a moderate.
Yeah.
He's rational. And then he also tweeted about how it's going to cost $100K per person. How much will deportations cost? Can you read the rest?
I've heard $100,000 per individual, which makes sense since that is what it would cost to house a prisoner for a year. That's $100 billion for every 1 million deported, or $1.5 trillion to deport all 15 million. Worth it? Question mark.
And this is like the same idea where like, oh, it's so expensive, so we can't do it. But it's expensive because the government's so inefficient. $100K to deport somebody. Well, they kind of just walked here and got dumped on us.
Yeah.
So let's just send them on the other side of the wall, or maybe to a couple countries deep, and then just dump them back.
Yeah.
I don't care. And then if you look here, a flight from Philly to LA is $200.
Yeah, but if you want to deport someone back to Nicaragua or something, that's going to cost $100,000, according to this guy who got everything wrong up until this point, right?
Why would it cost that? $200 for a cross-country flight. What's 500x that?
Doesn't make sense.
Or maybe even more.
And so one of the things, too, is these guys soften up on the, like, oh, the 500,000 to a million criminals. They obviously have to go. And it's like, these other 14 million, they haven't killed anybody yet. You know, there's that little bit of like, well, do we know anything about these fucking people, or just they were lucky enough to get let in during that law-breaking administration that happened over the past 4 years? So does America not have any right to choose what mix of 14 million new people come here?
And yeah, and he's talking about 15 million illegals that are here over the last few years, right? Yeah. He's not saying all, because the number of total illegals is probably like 40 to 50 million at this point, if I had to guess.
And there's also this thing of saying like how high these costs are. First off, I don't believe that shit at all, right?
$180 you get them out. I can do $180 a person.
And there's also the other level where self-deportation happens when you start going after businesses for hiring illegal workers. If you start with fines there, you can actually make up some of the cost, and then they'll self-deport if they can't find work, right? And the other part is we have so many people who are already getting paid money. The military, everybody in the military right now, their salaries, we're paying them either way, you know? So we might as well put them to work on something that actually protects American interests, right?
Yeah.
And here's a little piece. How much did the war in Afghanistan cost?
$2 trillion.
So I think we could afford some deportations, right?
And that was useless, and we got nothing out of it, and we wasted on that. And then Trump advisors are apparently saying that we can use the military to deport, which is great because the military is already being paid.
Yeah.
And it's all in this interest of like self-defense or defense of the country, which getting illegals out would be. Can you read that tweet?
You summed it up.
I summed it up.
It doesn't matter. They're drawing up the deportations plan now. Stephen Miller, Homan, they're full steam ahead. And, you know, this whole thing about costs, right? It can go one of two ways, where you're kind of like, wow, it's going to cost that much to deport people, and we already paid so much to process them into this country and immediately give them welfare and food stamps and EBT cards that Mayor Adams gave them prepaid debit cards for food. And it's like, so it's going to cost us as much to get them out? Wow, Democrats really fucked us then.
Yeah, you guys really did something bad by bringing in these expenses.
Yeah, you cost us a lot. We are getting them out because we're not just a GDP graph. We're not just an economic zone. We're an actual country with borders. And yeah, you guys tried to sneak a fast one and you had power for 4 years, then got blown out on election night because Americans don't want this. And so, yeah, you cost us a lot both ways, but they are going back, right?
And when they use the point of, well, it's going to cost so much, it's like, that's your fault.
Yeah.
The Democrats should pay it.
So, yeah, it's like you paid to rent the car and now you got to pay to return it. It's like you double dipped, and it's all your fault because Americans, like we've said a million times on the show, Americans never voted for this mass importation of migrants. But they did vote for the guy who made it a linchpin of his campaign to get those people out. So I think it's pretty much over. Your attempts failed. They're getting out, and they're definitely getting out of the swing states. And the last fight is going to be like blue state governors being like, no, we're not cooperating, or our local police, we're a sanctuary city. So there's going to be some battling legally back and forth, but they're getting out.
Yeah, big time.
And we're not listening to Jason Calacanis' fucking stupid pitch to leave 14 million random people. Whoever got here in the last 4 years, leave them here.
They just want a better life. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, if we wanted 14 million extra people, like, say we're just chilling and we're like, you know what, we could use 14 million extra people. Regardless of the argument, we obviously don't need that. But if we were to do that, we would at least pick them. They would be computer engineers. They would be doctors. They would be extremely smart people from South Korea who just invented something, you know?
Yeah.
They're not going to be this random third world migrant who just showed up.
So true.
So there's a lot of debating that's going to be going on. I think it's important for right-wingers and people on our side to not temper our expectations at all. Like, there's not like really a middle ground on 15 million people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like let's get soft now. We won. Let's govern with some middle of the road policies. It's like, no, he got voted in to get these types out, and we need to finish that.
Yep. And then now that people are realizing that Trump is in and they're going to be out, they're protesting. The illegals are protesting in New York City. That makes it easy to round them up.
Yeah.
Racist, sexist, anti-gay, Donald Trump, go away.
Same old chants, dude.
Still at it.
Yeah, you say, all right, the march is taking a turn here. We're headed to Rikers. We're getting on the boat. We're going to Rikers Island for processing.
We're hopping a bus.
Yeah.
Here's your bagged lunch. It's $1.
But so
Peanut
far,
butter sandwich for $1.
But
so you get on the bus and you go. It's $180.
Exactly. But so far, it's not very. They're not very convincing. They're not violent. It's just a one march.
Yep. I think it could get a little more desperate and it could get a little uglier, unfortunately, because there obviously are criminals and violent people in that group that are now going to be having less resources.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of Urban Decay.
Are you sure? We have so much more.
We have a couple clips, but
let's do this. Let's do this EBT one.
We're going to show the EBT one. We have a lot of good clips from Urban Decay going into bonus land.
Okay.
FleckisTalks.com is the website. Make sure you guys go sign up. Support the show. Extra 30 minutes of the show every time a show drops. People tell me, they say, I watch the show on Tuesday, then I watch Bonus Land Wednesday. Then I watch the show on Friday, and I watch Bonus Land for Friday over the weekend. And you get like 4 days of the show, basically.
There you go.
There you go. All right, we got some EBT stuff.
Well, yeah, this is a broader point. This is just more typical urban, and I feel like we got to give them at least one, so I'll let this play.
Snuck into a homeless shelter to eat free.
Love free food. We love free food. They at the homeless shelter acting like we homeless.
It's pork in the mac.
That's gonna ruin my reputation.
Nice group.
So they're a group of young African Americans, and they're stealing from homeless people, but they think it's funny, so they post it on social media, right? So that type of energy happens, and those are the same types to do EBT fraud or EBT lifers, as we call them. And we played this video here a few months ago. And this video was of a guy who was doing EBT. He was paying someone cash for 50 cents on the dollar of the EBT value. So he was using some crackhead's EBT card, and he was paying 50 cents on the dollar to get him to swipe his card. And I just want to play it because
I'm about to buy all these groceries, and these niggas got the EBT, so they about to give it, and I'm gonna give them some cash for it. We about to flip it.
Groceries. You have Gushers, Sunny D, chips.
Those cosmic brownies from Little Debbie's, Velveeta.
It's all chemicals.
The point is that all these EBT people, they get candy, they get soda, they get the shittiest non-nutritional sugar spike stuff that you can get, and then we wonder why obesity is so high in certain communities, right?
And then they're like also not motivated to go work because they're lazy, and it's like, well, part of that's because you haven't eaten like real food in years.
So our pitch as a podcast is to get these fat EBT lifers off of candy. We're going to take their candy away. We need to get this idea to RFK. Take away their soda, take away their candy, put items on the restricted list, and it's going to be kind of a fight because Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola or Kraft or any of those consumer packaged goods conglomerates, they really want the EBT money. That gives them, probably 10, 15% of their total revenue. But we need to get, if you're on EBT, you need to be eating better food, and you can't get the cheap slop that you want.
Eggs, milk, meat, cheese, butter.
A little dairy.
That's it.
You're done, buddy. Because Sunny D, Gushers, the giant box of Gushers, that's what American taxpayers are paying for. So you could eat 10 packs of Gushers in one night and weigh 600.
Not good.
So I just wanted to get that idea. I don't think I've heard anybody mention that or talk about that, but I think we talked to RFK, we talked to Trump. They're eating the slop. They're eating the shit. And EBT should not be paying for that.
Gotta make it illegal. Yeah. All right, well, don't get too down and too depressed. Moving on to uplifting gold, and we have some very uplifting stuff today. First, we're gonna go a little bit quick when we can.
Sure.
There is an entire island in Hawaii that voted for Trump.
Yeah.
It's only 43 people.
I don't know what island this is, but it's northwest of Honolulu by 2 islands. Is that Oahu, northwest of Honolulu?
I don't know shit like that, but
100% for Trump, 43 people.
Man, that's pretty cool. You live on an island and everyone's a Trump supporter, and you live in Hawaii on an island.
And you see the results, then you go to like your very few neighbors and you go, bro, we all did it.
We did it. You go to the grocery store, everyone's pumped.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
All right, next, Beverly Hills High School kids had a rally, a Trump rally, after they found out he won.
After a group of pro-Trump students celebrated on campus, this TikTok video showing the group of mostly boys with Trump flags and MAGA hats. School leaders say they kept an eye on things and stepped in when things got out of hand. School leaders say they are now restricting students from gathering in order to keep all students safe. They say students can still express themselves in an orderly manner.
Seems like a little bit of an infringement of your rights.
Well, they're kids in school, but, I'm sure if there was a Kamala walkout or something, they'd go, yes, go ahead. This is important. But the boys get together and start getting amped for Trump, and you start to get longhoused.
It's good to see the boys buzzing for Trump. Yeah. Next, someone posted this from La Scala in L.A. It's a group of girls all wearing MAGA hats after Trump won.
Yep, having a lunch.
Pretty good.
Good for them.
That's L.A. These are both L.A. Next, Kamala Harris mural being erased. Love to see that.
See me that one.
My girl just lost a day ago. Like, damn.
That's so good. That feels real good.
That's how it goes. And that's why I say we're on the good timeline here, guys. Kamala's getting erased. Trump would be in jail, or he would be close. Everybody on CNN would be giddy. Joy Reid would be talking about how many months he's going to get or something in the New York case.
Yeah, it's 400 years in term, 400-year sentence.
So
that's
instead,
the kind of shit.
Kamala's getting erased the day after the election on a fucking building.
All right, this is my favorite clip from the whole show.
I like this clip too, actually.
All right, the guy tries to trick or he's playing with the dog, and look what happens. So the guy is like doing with the ring toss, whatever, but he falls for 1 second, and the dog knows that's his chance.
There's a certain type of fat, overweight lab who really the only thing they care about is food.
Food motivated, yeah.
I like that.
It's very rare for a dog not to be food motivated. Yeah. All right, next is another dog who's getting some food.
He likes to crunch them up. Baby birds.
That's good. Did you know he eats a bucket of birds like that?
No, I had no idea. That seems Asian. Well, Americans don't have the stomach for that. I get it.
And I'm not going to say anything racist.
Okay.
But I have a feeling maybe some Asian people would eat those, whatever that bird thing was,
Maybe
too.
they crumble it up and put it over some soup. I don't know.
All right, next. This clip pisses me off.
He's pretending.
This shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
We made fun of hobby horsing girls.
But those girls jump over like a 5-foot hurdle.
And they're like 15.
Yeah, and this guy's like an old man.
What the fuck is this guy doing? With those fake legs? Yeah. They're fake. Look, you can see.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can tell they're fake.
I thought it was a weird, just different horse.
Why is the horse wearing an apron? To cover the feet? Oh, those are your feet underneath there. Oh, those legs? Stuffed full of what?
Caught you, brother. You're being deported.
It wasn't even hard to see.
Send Tom Homan to his front door. Get him out of here.
It wasn't even hard to figure out that was fake.
Yeah.
But that pisses me off. All right, we're going to end this show on a very uplifting clip. When your toddler is really an old man trapped in a baby's body.
Hi! Happy toots.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We're going to end the show on some uplifting shit like that.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
It is nice. You know what else is nice? I think there are going to be buses. And I think us saying, get the buses, I think we called that. And I'm really excited to see some people go back. And I'm really excited to see leftists cry or fake tears or visit a deportation center or something. And it's time for us to just not care anymore, guys. Harden yourself to the possibility of 15 million people going home. And you know what?
We sent 100 million people home.
It's not even It's not even like sad. They're going home. They got friends over there. They got people. They'll go to the old playground they used to go to. It's like a homecoming. We're not like sending them to a fucking gulag. We're not sending them to Siberia. All right, Siberia, you're in exile. You're Napoleon after coming back for the third time. We're sending them home. So
there's a nice little vacation.
There's a little baseline. There's a little like they're gonna try to make you forget about that fact, and like you're taking away America from them. It's like, no, you're not. You're giving America back to Americans, and that guy's just going home.
They were here for 6 months. They lived in New York City. They went and had the pizza.
They saw the Statue of Liberty.
They saw Elmo in Times Square.
They did a lot.
On our dollar, we put you up in a hotel, and now you're heading back.
Now you're headed back. You had a good vacation.
All right, another Flex Talks in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, all this good stuff. FlexTalks.com for Bonus Land, 30-minute Bonus Land dropping right now. You can watch the show 4 days a week if you pace your Bonus Lands appropriately. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next one.
I'll tell you what I told the president. He comes back, I come back, we fix this shit.